All right, how's it going, everybody? Welcome to this week's Stock Market Look video brought to you by DeepView and the Trade Lab. We've got a lot to discuss this week. We saw a further breakdown here below the 21 EMA, fall through to the downside, but then we closed the week on a strong note with a nice upside reversal, undercutting this level, reclaiming the 50 SMA. So things are a little bit in limbo, and we'll get into all the index action as well as leading themes, leading stocks, and key movers last week. And there's a lot to discuss there. I do want to mention before I forget, I did just start the Black Friday deal on the Trade Lab. This is my daily newsletter as well as educational service. It not only includes a daily market report, but also a ton of included courses and additional resources, model books, educational articles, and a whole lot packed into one great package. So a lot of people say that this saves them a ton of time during their routines. And this is literally presenting my homework for you guys every single day, covering breakouts, gappers, pullbacks. So if those are the type of setups that you like to trade, this should save you a ton of time. In addition to that, there's a lot of educational material in here. As I mentioned, every month we do a breakdown of a true market leader from the past. Let me find that section right here. Basically, we cover a Tesla, Nvidia, their entire move, the setups along the way, and very crucially, the rules and sell rules that would keep you in that trade for the long haul. We're actually going to be doing the next one next Saturday, November 22nd, covering MSTR and the crypto theme back in 2024. That should be a fantastic one. And this is a great way to kind of train your eyes to look for the blueprint of winning stocks. In addition to the monthly webinars, included in the Trade Lab is a momentum setups course. I'm finalizing that. That's coming soon within the next few weeks. And then in January, and this is included, is a 7-day live trading bootcamp, kind of centered around building your trading system and covering those key aspects of setups, sell rules, risk management, all of that. And then in addition to that, you also get that archive of all the model stock educational course and webinars. And I also just released last week, we go down here, an educational course on building blocks of a trading system, walking you through how to write your trading rules. So not only does this market report kind of save you time, but there's also a lot of education packed into the Trade Lab, which I think is why it's so valuable. Not only saves you time during your routines, but helps you improve as a trader as well. And as I mentioned, the Black Friday deal is basically you get a lifetime rate lock, $500 a year. That's less than $2 a trading day. And again, you get so many great free resources with it. All those educational courses. I think this is a fantastic deal. Roy Maddox, of course, you know him as the Chief Market Strategist and PM, U.S. Investing Champion, top performer in the Money Manager division. Roy Maddox says, if you are inexperienced as a trader or an experienced trader like me with over 3 decades of experience, I can't emphasize enough, this will make an impact. Don't walk, run to lock in this unbelievable value. I did this must-own service at this price. Amazing to hear that from Roy. So again, you can go ahead and click the link down below the description. It should be popping up right now. And if you have any questions whatsoever, shoot me an email over at richard@traderline.com, and happy to answer anything about the Trade Lab if you have any questions whatsoever. But check it out. And I also want to mention I've got a Trade Lab Black Friday guarantee. Basically, if you go ahead and join, give it a shot, try it out through January, you'll get all the daily reports. You'll be able to take a look at all the educational courses. You'll be able to attend the trading bootcamp. And if at that point you don't find it saves you time or helps you improve as a trader, no worries, we'll give you a 100% full refund. So that's a pretty strong guarantee. And I put that out there, and there's a risk with doing that because I am very proud of this service and believe it can help you as a trader. So if you're looking for, educational material as well as basically daily curated report, and that should help out a lot of people who work full time, who don't have time to screen the market every single day, then I think the Trade Lab is for you. So definitely go ahead and check it out and give it a shot. All right, so with that said, let's go ahead and jump right into today's video. First, looking at the QQQ, let's kind of break it down from the top. First, we had expansion from this little correction back here, this 1 bar on the China tariff news. We didn't fall through down and eventually popped higher and pushed strongly forward. But the kind of weakness showed up here where we got this unfilled gap. We had a breakdown, a gap down, and fall through to the downside, tight for 1 bar, and then a reconfirmation down through this pivot. At this point, we're kind of in choppy corrective mode, and it really hasn't changed since. On this day, we had fall through to the downside, but a strong close, so potential short-term momentum swing to end last week. And sure enough, on Monday, we gapped up and then went tight for 2 days. But on this last day of tightness within this range, we had a gap up and basically a sell-off off the open, a little bit of a bounce into the close, but short-term direction was a little bit undecided. But this downside reversal did give me a little bit of pause. And sure enough, the next day, we fall through to the downside, breaking below these lows. And then on this last Friday, we fall to the downside again with a big gap, but we close strongly through the 50 SMA. And this bar on the QQQ is what we call an oops reversal. Basically, we've got a gap down below the prior day's low, and we rally back through that level and close above it. You'll see a lot of stocks showing this very short-term characteristic on Friday if you take a look through charts. And the strongest stocks are going to have strong oops reversals on a day like Friday. So as you're looking for relative strength during this choppy corrective period, take a look and focus on stocks that have strong oops reversals on this past Friday and are overall setting up in a point where they're a little bit ahead of the market. You know, we're just kind of still pulling back here, but if the stock is more kind of built out within a base and then has an oops reversal, it might be more ready if the market kind of forms a local bottom here, pushes higher. That could be something that really expands and leads the market higher and by default is a leader. Looking at the IWM, this is weaker, also showed an oops reversal on this past Friday, but just overall a choppy mess down here. And looks like the left-hand side of a correction really starting from this area and this area right here and below all the moving averages. So not a good look for IWM. And like I said, below the moving averages, those are curling down. So if we do get a rally, this would be a spot for potential resistance and potentially a lower high to form. And this downside reversal was kind of a tell here again. We saw that same thing on the QQQ, but it's a little bit more pronounced here on the IWM. And we saw that fall through to the downside, but really strong strength right off the open here on Friday. Looking at IBIT, you've got the Bitcoin proxy. This has just been in a downtrend since this point right here. This bar really solidified it. And then we've got a lower high formed, broke down further, and then a bounce into the moving averages, the declining moving averages, and then rolling back over here. Short-term extended to the downside. We'll see how it acts this weekend. But, you know, just in a downtrend below all the moving averages at this point. And now we're just looking for a bottom to form, higher lows to form, and the start of a move out the right-hand side. But right now, this is still the left-hand side of a base and really just kind of in a short-term downtrend, an intermediate-term downtrend at this point. Taking a look at some key names, let's take a look at Tesla to kick things off. And this is one I've been trading and got kicked out last week. And overall, you've got this nice base. And let me actually bring up Tesla, not the ETF here. There we go. I was wondering where my annotations were. We've got the breakout from this prior base, push higher, and then it was forming a 12% deep, I believe, if we do that math. Yeah, about 12, 13% deep flat base here, but couldn't break out on this day. And a little bit of a downside reversal, break below the 21 EMA, then a lower high forming against that moving average. And at this point, it could go either way. This could either be a tightness that then pushes higher, but instead we break lower. Again, downside reversal, weakness right off the open, testing that 50 SMA, and then really negative bar here. And the reason this is so negative is because we're taking out this low, we're taking out all these lows where a lot of people's stops are, and it just causes kind of a cascade of selling here as we break lower. But on Friday, we did have a strong oops reversal within the context of a downtrend. So we'll see if this actually indicates a short-term momentum change, or if we just see more, fall through the downside. This low becomes key here. And one thing I do want to mention is this bar right here was kind of a catalyst that people were expecting would be a great thing for Tesla, but instead, this has kind of led to a sell-off. So the passing of that compensation package didn't really boost the stock, and instead we rolled over. And that was kind of a tell that we had a gap down after that supposed really good news event that this could happen as we go here. Bring up Google. This has been holding up really well. We had an oops reversal. This one at the 21 EMA. It's been within this range. So this is showing relative strength. It's above the 21 EMA. Anything above that level is showing, good action at this point. And it's still in a trend. We'll see if it can fall through to the upside and continue the strong move that's had this week. Amazon, I want to bring up this chart, breaking below this base pivot. Not a great look for this stock. but we're down sharply in just a matter of 3 days, pretty significantly for Amazon. So early next week, I might expect a mean reversion bounce here. We'll see if it can reclaim and overcome that 21 EMA as well as that 10 EMA. But short term, not a great look, but a little bit stretched to the downside, as a lot of stocks are. Bringing up Apple. This, like Google, has been acting really strong, trending above the 10, 21, and 50 SMA. NVIDIA, bringing up this stock. You've got, of course, earnings coming up November 19th. That will be pretty big. And this one had an oops reversal, strong oops reversal, reclaiming the base pivot and the key low here from the day prior, as well as the 50 SMA. So again, just kind of forming a base on top of base at this point, but very choppy. Look at all these gaps up and down, these wicks. It's not kind of showing that tight constructive action that we like to see from our leaders. Bringing up some more names. Let's do Palantir. This one also, this is kind of a wider and looser base. You've got gap downs that fall through to the downside, gap ups, but just overall not constructive action at this point. But we've got an oops reversal. So the potential for a short-term trend change. And one thing I do notice is if you connect all these lows, we had a nice undercut spot. So for those traders who like to play these, base lows, undercuts that are potentially, significant trend changes, this could be a good spot off the open to put some risk on and look to build into it as it actually confirms higher. Me personally, I like to play, the move up, one higher low, tightness, and then the pop higher. That's kind of my preferred setup. But we'll have to see what happens with this base and if it actually develops. But again, just overall, this has been an amazing stock, but you're getting a little bit of that choppy, wide and loose feel in this name. And just this entire area was a lot of chop and noise up and down and potential kind of subtle distribution during this space. And hate to see the gap down on earnings here. And it hasn't been able to overcome this key high here. So I'm actually going to draw in this as a key level. So that is Palantir. Moving on, we've got some more semi names. INTC. This has been acting well. This is still holding up okay, and it's just pulling back to the 50 SMA and also the confluence of this prior low, but it's still just kind of forming out a base. But it's a recent gap up, so one to still keep an eye on. And likely you could put on some risk versus the 50 SMA here if that's your style. And this is the first pullback since the catalyst here that got the stock going. Overall, stage one, transitioning into stage two with this catalyst gap, the NVIDIA announcement, range breakout, and now is doing that first pullback spot opportunity, the 50 SMA, although it is below a declining 21 EMA. So a lot of stocks are kind of in limbo. We've had a good run, we've moved higher, now we're pulling back and are either kind of pausing and maybe a short-term bounce is in order, or if the bulls want to take charge, we could kind of have an inflection point here and reconfirm to the upside, reclaim those moving averages. But for me, I think it's just kind of overall a choppy environment. There's going to be a lot more volatility, and that's not really where my style thrives. So less is more from me personally. But Friday was a good step in the right direction in terms of the action that I want to see to be more aggressive. Let's see. Let's go ahead and take a look at what other names acted well on Friday, showed good action. CSIC, this is very strong. Not oops reversal, undercut and rally here off the 10 EMA. And good strength off the open. This is one I'm going to study this week. If we go ahead and turn off extended hours. This one off the open, you basically have an anchored VWAP reclaim on this bar. That would be my entry. And very strong action after that. And this is in the solar space, and this theme is pretty strong. You've got DQ. If we bring up that chart, we've got SEDG. We've got NXT. And ENPH. Is weaker, but this is a theme that's acting pretty well overall. And CSIC is a little bit more of a performance enhancer. This is a very fast mover, but a pretty good spot to put on some risk here if you're watching this closely here on the previous Friday. Moving on, let's see any other names I really wanted to throw out there. BE has been a leader, and this is showing a little bit of a change in character. I'm going to delete these drawings. We've got the base breakout right here, trending all this time above the 10 and 21 EMA. And then this is now the first pullback to the 50 SMA since the start of this trend and really the start of this move. So we'll see if it gets bought up here. Volumes coming in, so constructive signs, but it does have to fall through to the upside to kind of confirm that pullback here. Let's see if there's any other names. MU trending beautifully. This has been doing nothing wrong. SanM, another semi that's pulling back here. Rhombus breaking down. So there's kind of mixed signals, especially within that semiconductor AI theme. A lot of those got hit very, very hard. And we'll see kind of after that initial impulse of selling how things react going forward. And if we take a look at a lot of these names, APLD pulling back very, very hard. And BBIO, I do want to mention these biotech names, pharma names, acting really strong. And let me actually take a look at LABU. Look at this trend. I mean, really strong action. And you had this nice tight day and then expansion here on Friday. Or sorry, not on Friday, on Tuesday. Amgen, a little bit of a slower mover, but acting really strong. Lilly, also in this space. Very nice action from this tight range. So this is kind of where the strength has been over the past few weeks. And it's kind of, continued to act really, really well. Overall, in terms of themes, AI is still a big one. Semi is worth watching if it can kind of fall through to the upside. NVIDIA earnings will be huge to see that price reaction. That'll be a great gauge of market sentiment. And we'll have to see kind of how things lie. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. Are there any kind of key names last week that stood out to you? Maybe let me know 3 down below that you're watching for next week. And if there's any names that you want me to go over tomorrow in my weekly watches video, let me know down below as well, and I'll give you my thoughts on those. So that's pretty much it for today's video. Going back to the QQQ, we're in a choppy corrective phase, and based on my analysis, and Friday is a step in the right direction, but we need to see fall through to the upside and then tightening action and then reconfirmation up. That's kind of what we thought we were seeing here, where we have a potential extension down, pop higher, tightness, but then we reconfirmed lower, and really it was a little bit early compared to where the market corrective choppy period started back in here. But this is getting a little bit more mature, but we'll see if we can hold this low. That is key. And if we can fall through to the upside, reclaiming those moving averages. So overall, that's my thoughts on the market. Let me know what you think down below in the comment section. And if you haven't yet, definitely go ahead and check out the Trade Lab Black Friday deal. I think it's a fantastic opportunity, and I look forward to seeing you guys over there. If you enjoy my interviews, if you enjoy these videos, if you enjoy the articles I put out, the free webinars, everything kind of goes up a notch when it comes to the Trade Lab. And I put a lot of time and effort into making that a valuable service. So definitely check it out if you haven't already. Again, you can try it with that guarantee risk-free. And if you don't like it after the boot camp, no hard feelings. So basically, go ahead and give it a shot if you haven't already. But with that said, thanks again for tuning in, and I'll see you guys in future videos. Take care.